Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad that you stopped by again today. This is another speed build. It is huge, and the footage before I cut it down was about 3 hours. It took me a very long time. So you'll see right now I have the inspiration picture popped up in the the upper right hand corner of the screen, and you'll also see that I have a whole bunch of roofing pieces just set off to the side, either side of the build. That is because when I first built this, I did a test run. I drew out my plan for how many tiles everything would be, and then I thought it looked nice, so I put the roofing pieces on, and I was trying to cut out as much time as possible so this wouldn't be a super long video, which I guess it helped a little bit, but man, yeah, it took me a long time, and I worked really hard on it, so I hope you enjoy it. But it is a modern farmhouse style home, and it has lots of beautiful shrubberies and greenery in the front, lots of flowers, a nice stone and gravel pathway in the front as well. I didn't have any picture of the back, so I pretty much wung it there, but I wanted it to mirror the front at least a little bit, not exactly. I also added a little back sunroom greenhouse area that goes right behind the kitchen. I thought that would be a nice little addition if your Sims garden, and they have some plants in there. They can have them in there all year, all seasons, and they won't go out of season. So I thought that was a nice little added feature. You'll also see, I'll pop up here in a second, some debug wall pieces, because I could not find a wallpaper for the exterior that I liked that had a stone trim at the bottom, and I didn't want to put it on a foundation because that would have ruined the aesthetic for me. I did put a lot of things on a platform, but I did not put the entire house on a foundation. But these are those wall pieces I pulled out from the side that I had set over there so that I wouldn't lose them. And because I have the tool mod, I can use the eyedropper tool to select and replicate, which makes building a whole lot easier. If you don't have the tool mod, I highly recommend it if you can install mods on your mode of playing. I know if you're a console player you cannot use mods, and that makes me sad for you. I'm so sorry. But if you have PC, you may use mods. Hopefully they fix that soon, or they make that an ability for console players also. So here's those debug wall pieces. There's some bigger pieces and some shorter pieces, and miraculously, it was not planned out, but miraculously those pieces fit. The short ones fit the front panels of the house exactly. I did not plan that out. That was a fluke. I got really lucky. And then for the other pieces, I just kind of added and overlapped a little bit if I had to, and that worked out just fine. You'll see sometimes they come in all black and they don't show the full detail. That's because I have to move them out a little bit, because the game thinks that the wall is actually inside the wall itself. The fake wall is inside the actual wall, which it's not, but we fix it. Don't worry. I go back and I fix everything, and I pull everything out a little bit more so it doesn't clip with the inside. You may see it clipping a little bit with the inside as I furnish, but I do go back and finish that either off camera, or I cut out the footage where I fixed it, because like I said, trying not to make this a million-year long video, but it is still over an hour with screenshots and the outro page, so I appreciate you stopping by and looking. You don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want. I do encourage you to at least click through, or maybe pause and come back when you have time. I know I do that a lot with longer videos that I'm watching. I'll pause it and I'll go back later, because, you know, I have kids. I can't sit down and watch a whole hour-long video undisturbed. I can't do anything for an hour undisturbed. Let's be real. Okay, so here's the front of the house. The image is still up front. I know it's kind of small, but the front door kind of had a blue trim on it, and I couldn't find a door with a blue trim. I even thought about that werewolves door, and it just wasn't working. So I went with a wood trim, and I believe that door is from Discover University, but it could very well be base game. Don't quote me on it. The columns are from Seasons, and I like not only the stone on the bottom, but the way that the spandrels are formed with the V or the W shape in the beams, and then the simple wood panel just on top. I thought that looked really nice, and it looked very, very similar, if not exactly the same as the reference picture. So that worked out really well. When I first saw this picture, I said, is that a Sims house? I thought it was already a Sims house, but it wasn't. Here I'm fiddling with some roof pieces. I didn't cut out all of the roofing. I wanted you to see how I fixed this. So I couldn't put the trim on the roof the way I wanted, so I took 2 half gables, made them the same angle as the original gable, and then I placed them on top, added a little room in the middle, and put a regular gable roof on top, and it looks the same. I tried to add the trim, and lo and behold, it still didn't work out. You'll see it in just a second, because it clipped with the rest of the roofing. Let's see, yep. I was not happy about that. So I think what I did was I went into the roof trim decorations, and I used that cottage living roofing decoration piece that looks like a little beam. I did put that in there somewhere along the course of building though, and moving things around, moving roofing and certain other accessories around. That got deleted, or it just completely disappeared. So you'll only see that for a little bit right here, and I never see it again, which honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It's a tiny little detail, and I never added a window to the back, which I am just now realizing, but I wish I had added another window to the back of that roofing piece. I think that would have really completed the look. Here's that chimney, which you can barely see in the reference picture, but you can tell if it's zoomed in. There's a very tiny little piece of chimney that looks exactly like the top of this one that is in the game. So I tried to position it and pull away and see if that worked, and I liked the way it looked. So I continued. Now, like I said, this took me a good amount of time to do, including the build and the piecing together, removing footage, editing other footage, adding the transitions. So you might see that some pieces are moving faster than others, or maybe you won't notice. And that's because I realized that in some areas I was going slower because I didn't know what I wanted to do, or I was confused about what I was doing, or I was just having some builder's block, and it was just not, that's not very convenient when you're trying to put up a video in a certain amount of time and you have very little time to do that. Very inconvenient, but that's okay. I did make it through. So if you notice sometimes that it seems like it's going a little faster, the footage in the speed build, it probably is. Some of the footage is about 400%, some is about 425%. It's all over the place, but I think that it came together really well. Here I'm finally starting the interior. This bathroom in the front here, I went with the plan of this family, whoever the Sims family is, moved in, and they had already started renovations, but this bathroom, they just kept it pretty simple because there was nothing wrong with the bathroom, even though it looked a little older, with the style of vanity and toilet and wallpaper and flooring. But otherwise, there was nothing wrong with the bathroom, so they decided we're going to take care of the rest of the house, which needed to be almost completely renovated because things just didn't work. It just wasn't functioning. But this bathroom was functioning just fine, so they just left it, they just cleaned it up and kept it the way that it was. And that is why this bathroom is such a different style than the rest of the home. It has really pretty floral wallpaper when I finally get there. And just here's the shower tub combo that I came up with that gave me that inspiration in this sage green swatch. I said, well, that's what we're going with now. Change the swatch on the cabinets. No, I didn't use a green toilet. I went with the country old-time antique toilet from, I think that's Base Game. And a simple mirror. I wish we had more long mirrors in the game that weren't just plain long mirrors with a simple frame. Would be so nice, but it's okay. Maybe we'll get some more with the next pack, which I'm super, super excited about. It is March. It is officially March 2nd on the day that I'm recording my voiceover, and I'm so excited. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Less than 2 weeks for the update. 2 weeks for the pack release. I'm on the edge of my seat. Thinking about doing a Let's Play, but you will see how that works out. I'll keep you informed. So there's this bathroom, like I was saying. We did was thinking about tile, but then I went with this lovely floral wallpaper that's very granny-esque, and that's just fitting. Then the laundry room, this was cutting in, so I pulled that back. Laundry room, I believe I changed the washer and dryer to that teal or turquoise, dark turquoise color. I don't know, I really like that color in this game. It just pops so nicely. And I wanted the stacked washer and dryer, like they had to throw them in here because that's the only way they would fit, because there is no basement on this property. So I wanted to go with just a normal slab wallpaper. I went with the Dine Out painted brick. I thought that looked really nice since there is some brick detail on the outside of the home. And I thought that would be a nice little ode to like maybe what is underneath all the paint and plaster and wallpaper. And here's the interior. I struggled really hard with this. I tried a half wall, which you'll see. I kind of knew I wanted to use this wallpaper right away because it's very neutral, very simple, but it has that ornate crown molding pattern on the top and the wainscoting on the bottom. I did like that, but I did not know for the life of me what I was doing with the platform situation and how large the entryway was, and I struggled for a lot longer than you think, and for a lot longer than it looks like I did. And even then, it looks like I struggled. I was watching it back and I was almost embarrassed. So I had to pick a couple entryway tables, and I went with something that was a little more old-fashioned over here. Maybe it came with the house, maybe it was already here, so they fixed it up, refurbished it, and put it in the hallway leading out to the back door, which will be a back patio you'll see later. Here's that half wall that I don't keep. I don't know what I was thinking. And then there's another entryway table right here. I don't remember, is that from Get Famous? Or no, that's from Cats and Dogs. They have really nice furniture. And I find that I can match it really well with all kinds of other packs. And there you saw really quickly transitioned to the living room and dining situation, which don't worry, if you missed that, there's a reason why I skipped to that part, because I completely redid it. I did not keep that there. This was me when I came back to it later, because I was stuck. Came back to this later, and I thought I know exactly what I want to do with the entryway now. I'm going to put this nice flower on top of the table, some of the everyday clutter kit items I pull out after I get this Dream Home Decorator basket of linens, and this little collection of baskets from Laundry Day stuff. I really enjoyed the overall aesthetic of the entryway once I got there. And these curtains from high school years, I always forget about them. I know it's a newer pack, but I build a lot, so I always forget about them, but they worked so well. They're very bohemian, country style, kind of relaxed, but still really fancy looking. Oh man, they surprised me. I really enjoyed those. And here I was thinking, okay, we need some flowers, got to get some more plants in here. So we'll start here. And I believe I jump around a little bit, but I wanted to do some everyday clutter kit items on the entryway table, like I said. I also thought maybe doing something for the child sim who is in this home. So I tried to do something. I had to keep them in mind. Something in the entryway, maybe like when they get home from school, something they like to do, an activity. I think I break out an activity table, which eventually ends up moving anyway, but we'll get to that later. So I guess while I have a little bit of time here, I have a whole bunch of time, we can talk about the family I had envisioned for this house. I envisioned either a single parent sim or two parents, and they have a teen daughter who just became a teen, and also a female child sim. So they share a room. The teenage daughter is on the bottom double bed of her bunk bed in their shared room, which you'll see in a little bit, and then the child is on the top single bunk bed. And I decorated their room accordingly. I think I did a pretty good job kind of mixing the teen and child assets and decorations where it could feel comfortable for both of them. They both love girly things, the color pink, the color purple, and music and art and dancing, everything fun that I would assume two sisters would love to do together in their room. Just kind of jam out, have some pillow fights, and enjoy each other's company. I imagine they are very close. They are not rival siblings. They are close. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. And then the parents' room, is very plainly decorated, very simple. I feel like the parents have a very neutral and clean sense of style. They like everything in their place, everything put away, nothing too crazy colorful, just very simple and very neat. And I think one of the parents or the single parent has a job where they entertain a lot. So maybe they're in the business career, they have a lot of meetings, and they throw dinner parties to have business proposals. And this is why they have such a huge kitchen. So it's not necessarily a huge family, it's a maximum 4 sim family, but the kitchen is absolutely enormous. The kitchen and dining area is so big. And I thought maybe they have big family events here, like they are that family home where everybody comes and celebrates Thanksgiving and Christmas, or Harvest Fest and Winter Fest. Pardon me. But this is where all holidays are celebrated, and the parent or parents have large dinner parties and meetings and get-togethers with their friends and or clients. I'm not sure what their actual career is. I didn't go that far into it, but I did think that made the most sense for how large of a space this is for so few Sims, and why there are so many darn bathrooms. This is a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and they're all full bathrooms too. There's not even a powder room and a full bathroom. No, they are all full bathrooms with toilet, shower, sink, vanities, all across the board. Very large bathrooms in this house for just 4 Sims. Everybody can have their own private bathroom time, though. That's got to be nice. I dream of such a thing. So here is the kitchen coming together. I used the cabinets from Jungle Adventure in the very neutral tone, and I thought that the brown appliances matched the hardware on the cabinets and countertops, or on the counters and cabinets. And the island here, there's a second stove top in the island, which I thought was very fancy and very cool. If you're having lots of people over, maybe one person is using the stovetop in the oven and the other can use the stovetop on the island. There's lots of prep space. Everybody can cook together. So if you have a large family wanting to cook together, you have that option now, which is really nice when that gameplay feature works. That is, let's be honest, it does not always work. Never really works for me. Even I could have so much room and it doesn't matter. One sim is just standing there staring at the other one and talking while the other sim cooks. But either way, here's the kitchen coming together, and then I think I move on into the dining and living room area. Oh, well, first I have to get the lighting situation sorted in the kitchen area. I deleted the ceiling saucer lights, which are like my placement lights, so I can see everything. And then I decided on these mirrored backsplash pieces. Now, they're obviously just really tall mirrors, but I make them look like backsplash pieces. I kind of move them together so they all fit nicely. And I think that it makes the room is already huge. It makes the room look even more grand and enormous. So, but I thought they enjoy the opulence of that, so I went with it. And I add some clutter decorations, some candles, a little tray. I believe I add here's a dish rack on top of the dishwasher next to the sink. I thought that was the most practical use of that space. That makes the most sense. If you're doing dishes, you have the dishwasher underneath and the dish rack on top. And here's where the footage suddenly speeds up, because I took forever picking out everything in here, and it might not look like it, but I cut out a lot of little bits and pieces and deleted and pieced back together all of my footage right here. There's so many little pieces. If you were looking at my screen right now, you would it's amazing. It's like a little puzzle, but that's okay. We have the My Wedding Stories table and base game chairs that were designed by, I think those were the Hey Harry chairs that were included in a base game update. And I also use the centerpiece from My Wedding Stories with they're either peonies or roses and the 4 little square tea light candles. I thought they were really cute. They took me a very long time to find, but eventually I found them, and here they are. I did that in a pink swatch to offset all of the white. I didn't want anything too bright and colorful, but something that added a little pop. And the light above the table, I believe, is from the holiday pack that came out a very long time ago that I never use. It's just a ceiling light with some greenery on top, and I don't know why, but it just fit the country boho vibe that I had in mind for the dining area. And here I'm throwing in the sectional couch. I already knew I wanted to use a sectional couch here, but I didn't know what orientation I wanted it in, so I did play around with it for quite a bit. Cut out most of that footage, but here's a little bit of my messing around and decorating. I believe I ended up using the cats and dogs. Wait, oh, excuse me. No, it was the laundry day coffee table. Laundry day came in very handy in this build. I used a lot of laundry day, a lot of cats and dogs, a lot of dream home decorator. Those were the main ones, and My Wedding Stories. I did use a decent amount of My Wedding Stories in here. They have really nice plants and centerpieces. So, and werewolves also, I did use a lot. I used a decent amount of werewolves. That's a newer pack for me. I didn't have that the entire time. I just got that, and that was only because I had seen so many builds where people just use little bits and pieces from it, and I thought, you know, I think that that's worth it. I'll definitely use that pack for building. I don't know about gameplay. I do enjoy occults, but I'd probably play it once and then, you know, let it do its own thing after that. But here we are into the little reading nook, I guess it is. I wanted a little area for reading and skill building off to the side in the living room. So we have a chess table. I think that's from high school years. The chair, I believe, is from Paranormal Stuff Pack. And I fiddle around with lighting and a rug over here. And you'll see a lot that I tried to use those laundry day rugs, the medallion shape right there that I had briefly for a second. And I tried to overlap them a lot. And they weren't working in any of the situations I was trying to use them in. So I did end up using them eventually. You'll see at the end. But here I skip ahead a whole bunch. I had replaced a bunch of the ceiling lights, and I added some end tables and some end table lights and this large rug. That's a base game rug, by the way. It's very simple, but it works so well in large rooms like this because it fleshes out a nice little spot just for the couch, or couches in this case. And I thought that looked really, really nice. And I added a little stool here too, that teal color, or the turquoise, dark turquoise color, and some plants. I don't know why, but I really enjoy that color. I don't like it a lot in real life, but in the game, I really enjoy it. So over here, I'm trying to decide what kind of ceiling light I want above the reading area, or maybe even a stand-up light in the corner. I could not figure it out. There was nothing that was bright enough for me, so I'm pretty sure I just ended up putting that saucer light back. Yep, I did. That's okay. And I think I put some saucer lights back in the kitchen too. Yes, there they are. Because it just wasn't bright enough. The lighting in this game is so weird. And here I'm actually lowering the lighting opacity for the island overhead lights, and it changed the color of them to a more warm tone. I used the tool mod for that as well. They have a setting for changing the lighting while you're in build mode. You don't have to be in live mode. There's those overlapped rugs that I kept trying to use them, and I couldn't find a situation where they actually looked like they were meant to be there. I will eventually get to that. I believe that rug is also from high school years because it looks a lot like the curtains that I use in the entryway hallway. And then over here I have a little ottoman also from laundry day, because it matches the coffee table. I thought that looked really, really cute. Little puffy fabric on top of it. These curtains I think are from Dream Home Decorator, or are they from University? No. They are from, yeah, I think they're from Dream Home Decorator. They're super cute. I like the pink and the blue. Little bit of color, very understated, but just a little bit of color on the curtains there. And you'll see that I suddenly have all these paintings up on a wall or on a set of walls in the corner because I couldn't find a wall art that I enjoyed. I went on the gallery and I found some custom art, and I will find in the video, in the uncut footage, I will find who that was posted by on the gallery, and I will give total credit because I use almost every single one of the paintings that she listed in that room. It was listed as a room on the gallery, and I placed it, and then I took the paintings, put them on my own walls. In live mode, I added frames to them, and I thought they looked super cute. So thank you so much to that simmer who uploaded. I will be sure to give you credit in the description on this video. And here we're into the office. Now, I struggled at first. I cut out a lot of footage from this also, but then I decided this would be the perfect room to be like the homework room as well as the parents' office. This is like the quiet study area. You'll see there's like a set of headphones I put on the desk. That's from the Everyday Clutter Kit. Everyday Clutter Kit. I put that on there. I figured maybe they do like to listen to music, but when mom or dad are working, they don't want to be bothered. So that's why there's a set of headphones there for listening to music, some sticky notes, a little notebook, a little set of glasses, stack of books, water bottle, gotta stay hydrated. And I do add 2 table lights to that little desk as well. And over here is the parents' work desk area. I was going more old-fashioned with the desk style at first, but I didn't like it, so I ended up going with the Dream Home Decorator, the 2-tiered desk system. I really like that desk. I would love that desk in real life. I would be sitting there all the time. Well, whenever I could. I would be sitting there working on my builds or other work, answering emails, etc. But I gave a couple little cute details to the desk, nothing crazy. Here's that light. I use it's from Tiny Living. Love that light. It is so cute. It's just dainty and it has all these adorable colors on it. More sticky notes and a used stained coffee cup on the desk because, I mean, that just makes sense. And this is actually a little craft box that I thought maybe could be like, not files, but paperwork that the mom or dad, whoever the sim is that has this office, might keep organized up top where he or she doesn't want anything to get disturbed. I thought that looked really cute. And then I just did the same hardwood floors, and I apologize for the very long faded out intro. There was so much footage I cut out there. I just kind of all meshed together. I decided to put an easel and some newspaper underneath it in this corner here. Added some base game curtains in the gray swatch. I really like these curtains. I'm glad they gave us so many different swatches in that update, because before there were, I don't know how many swatches, maybe 8, and most of them were way too colorful. Now we have a nice gray, we have some neutral pink. I really enjoy that. So I used those curtains from here, and I also used the one that's pulled to the side on this window. I did adjust the windows a little bit to match up with the curtains. There's the room of paintings that I grabbed from. I did use them pretty much everywhere, so I have to give that creator some credit, which is really nice. If you're ever looking for artwork and you don't like what is in the game in your catalog, you can search the gallery for custom artwork or artwork, you know, whatever your tag is, whatever item you're searching for. Maybe you're searching for a specific kind of painting, like you're looking for numbers to use as numbers that you're going to put on the house. So many choices. Search the gallery and you know, like and subscribe to those creators, because that really helps them. That, you know, I know it makes me feel good when people upload and like my builds on the gallery. That's what got me started doing this. So they really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And here we've moved into the sunroom and the greenhouse area. I was kind of going through debug and live edit, and I was pulling out these little pots, and I hated it. So we got some of the big square pots. I think these ones are from Outdoor Retreat, but you could also use the regular Seasons ones, or Base Game. I think Base Game came with them. I'm pretty sure. Base Game or Seasons has them as well. And I think with Eco Lifestyle, you could, you can get the out of the debug menu, you get the planter boxes that water themselves. Hydroponic, there you go. But that's it. It's very simple in that room. And then I have to eventually replace that piece of wall because it went missing. Annoyingly. Here I'm experimenting with some roofing. I wanted this to be sort of closed off, but it didn't look right with the angle of the roof behind it. So what I end up doing is I go with the half-hipped roof in the same glass pattern, and you'll see that in a second. I pull that one off, that roof piece off, and I try the half-hipped roof piece instead, and I really enjoyed that. So that's the one I end up using. There it is. And I raise that up here and I pull it across. I like how the angle completely matches with the angle of the roof piece on top there. Here we are jumping back into the hallway, going into the bedroom areas. So this was very strange, I will admit, but I think it turned out pretty nice. So I just put in 2 columns and a spandrel, very simple, believe it's base game spandrels. And I wanted to keep the area very plain because this is not somewhere I would want to draw guests' attention to. These are the private bedrooms of the family members. So I just kind of kept it simple, and then I moved this art table back into the office space because I thought, well, that would work better next to the easel, because if the parent or the teenager are painting, maybe the child will want to join them. And here's my playtester sim. I was just making sure she could get in there. Back to the entryway, adding some wall lights and also some overhead lights eventually, I think, and a hamper. And this is not the functional hamper you'll see pop up here, the little shoe rack, and then I did the non-functional hamper because I think it looks nicer. I do end up adding the actual hamper on the other side of the fake hamper. I do that off camera, I believe, because I realized I never did that. So here we go into I believe I went with the parents' room first, and I just kind of put the pieces of furniture down. So I put the bed down, end tables, and the dresser and mirror situation at first, because I at least wanted to figure out where things were going to go. And I jump around a lot because I was very indecisive. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what colors I wanted to use. I knew I wanted it to be more neutral, but I didn't want it to be boring either or empty. And it really gave me a hard time. I think I'm going to have to switch it up a little and do a different kind of build, because I think the last couple builds have been very muted, very neutral, and I think I might want to do something different for the next one. I might do like an abandoned house, or a house that was maybe damaged. Maybe there was a natural disaster or something, and the family moved out in a hurry and left a bunch of things, and it was just damaged, and you know, those who needed to stay there just kind of hunkered down for a little bit and then would move on their way. So maybe there's trash, it's boarded up, it's somewhat dilapidated. I think that would be a fun build to do, and then you guys could upload it and renovate it and tag me in, and I would love to see your creations. I could even go so far as to make a video going through your builds that are renovations of my build. I always enjoy those when Miss Griffey puts those up, or Little Simsy. I love when they do. Here's my build uploaded to the gallery. Now you guys take it and renovate it, or here's a shell. You guys do what you want with it, and then I'll go over it on my channel. I enjoy that so much. I love those videos. I think they would be a lot of fun to do. So maybe I'll do something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I also said I might do a Let's Play, so I'm still playing around with what I can feasibly do with the amount of time that I have, which, again, is not a lot. So for the parents' bathroom, I wanted to do something very spa-like, very zen, very comfortable. And I hadn't used this green swatch in the Spa Day, wallpaper. Why am I blanking right now? And so I wanted to use that. And then the shower, I believe, is also from Spa Day. I thought it was very, very cute, very sleek. It has some soaps already in it. which I enjoyed, and I could use some matching towels. And here I am outfitting the other bathroom with the toilet paper roll I forgot to add before. That's the new one that came with the bathroom clutter kit. I had actually just installed this, just installed that back before I went back into the game to continue doing more building. I said, oh, I need to replace all the paper towel rolls with the new one. I just have to do it. So I had to do that. I don't know why. It's not really necessary, but I thought it was. And here's some more bathroom clutter kit stuff I'm pulling out. I really enjoyed just overly decorating this little shelf. So here's like a little tray with some bath salts and a comb and some other luxurious bath items, the 2 stacked towels with soap on top. I think I also added incense, the candles, this mirror, which I had been looking for forever and I couldn't find it. I finally found it by accident, so I put that over in the parents' room. But here I'm looking through candles, and these spa day candles were great, but I could not figure out how to get them to fit in a way that made sense. I thought that looked silly with the little beam off to the side, just kind of cutting them off. So I went with, once again, oh boy, the debug candles that come with the Eco Lifestyle Pack. You can craft these candles, or your sim can craft them. You can also find them in the debug category or live edit category. And here's that incense holder. I figured that. Now that is very spa-like to me. The carved beautiful candles, the incense with the relaxing scent filling the room. I just thought that was just perfect. And I wanted to find more lotions and luxurious things to add to the shelf. So that's what I did here. And a little plant, just a cute little plant, base game, nothing too crazy. And then I think from there I move on for now into, oh yes, there's the little shower caddy. I had to put that in there as well. I move on to the vanity, and I put some toothpaste and the little cup of toothbrushes, and I place them the way that I wanted to using alt placement. And I think that's about it for that. I didn't do anything super crazy. Oh, right. Okay, so I added more linens and a tissue box. Then I believe I move into the daughter's room after I place this rug. I think I used Toolmod to resize it also. Yes, I do. It was using the 9 key was too big, and I just had to set it myself, my own personal size. So here's that. Now moving on to the shared daughter's room. This bunk bed is so cute. I love it. I do change the color of the bedspreads on the top and bottom. So the top one is like this cute yellow, bottom is pink, but they have the same essential pattern on them with the leaves, or I guess those are hearts. I'm not 100% sure what that pattern is, but they look like leaves or hearts to me. And I threw in so many posters, a lot of cutesy, girly things. I was thinking about this rainbow curtain with the butterflies on it, but it just blocked all the light from the window. That corner immediately got darker, so I did not want that. I went with these more boho see-through curtains in the pink and purple ombre swatch, and then a really fun colorful wall, and then some accent walls in purple and pink. Like I said, these ladies are very, very fond of bright girly colors and making a mess and just being their authentic teen and child selves. So I kind of went hog wild with this room, and I did a lot of color, a lot of mess, a lot of clutter, all kinds of different activities, and I think it looked really, really cool. So like the parents have said, listen, this is your room, you can do, within reason, you can do whatever you want, and they went with it. They really did. So there's some dirty clothes in a basket, there's a dirty clothes pile over on the other side. When we get to that, here's the dresser. I cluttered it up a bit, and you'll see me cut out pretty soon, and it'll just look like I came back. But I threw some stuff on the dresser and on the floor in front of the dresser because I said, okay, I only have a little bit of time left for whatever reason. Maybe it was after nap time and I had to get ready to wake the boys up. But I threw some clutter down that I knew I wanted to include so that later I could break out the red OMSP shelf from my custom content menu and move things around accordingly with alt placing. And I found those little rolled up towels. See, I was looking for them earlier, couldn't find it, found them by accident. that kind of thing kept happening to me in this game. But here I am finally cluttering up the rest of the room. I added that little clothes rack that hangs on the wall that came with High School Years as well as the cubes on the floor that I did 3 in a row. I thought that was very realistic for a kid's or teen's room. And the light on the wall is actually 3 different pieces. They're the same wall piece, and I just rotated them to make a little pattern. I thought that was kind of cool, and I did different colors too to piece them together like a puzzle, like they were meant to be that way. And this light I think is also from High School Years, that rainbow neon light. It wouldn't quite place, so I had to add a second one just in the middle to take up the empty slot, and then I delete that larger light that's in the middle of the desk there. But I had to take up that space so that I could freely place the other one. And under here I said, there's nothing under this bed where the teen sleeps. What should we put here? And I found the little dream catcher, which came with paranormal stuff. Thought maybe that's a really cute idea. Just hang that right by her head where she sleeps and call it a day. And I did want to do a nod to the child sim, so I put a nightlight over in the corner there, and it's casting some pretty pink stars. I like that a lot. And I did a toy box as well, so that we would have some kids activities in here. And I also put the little puzzle book that came with the little campers kit, the little pop-up puzzle or book that came with that, and this very colorful rug with the stars. I don't know if I changed the swatch on that. And the chandelier, the little kids chandelier that came with High School Years as well, really enjoyed that piece. I haven't used it yet. And also the pillow from the little campers kit. I kind of splurged a little recently, and I got some kits and some packs, and of course I pre-ordered the Growing Together pack because I'm just too excited not to. I don't always pre-order, I don't always have that luxury, but this time I was lucky enough that I did, and I just... It was the stars aligned just perfectly for this one, so I was able to do that. I'm very excited for that pack to come out. Here's back to the very bland and basic parents' room, and I did my best to decorate it and put in adequate lighting. I believe I used just a plain ceiling light from base game, and I also throw in some more of those paintings that I had pulled from that room on the gallery. So you'll see all of a sudden it cuts and I'm putting up paintings. That's where those paintings came from, is that room I had pulled from the gallery. There were so many. There was enough for every room that I felt was lacking something. Very convenient, very nice. Like I said, if you're having trouble with finding the proper artwork, definitely search the gallery. There's so many options, there's so many talented creators, and really all you do is you set up something for your sim to paint, and if your sim is at a high enough painting skill, they can paint from reference. And you can get them to paint whatever you want, whether it be a number or a scene or a person or anything, just some pattern maybe that you make yourself. The sky is the limit when it comes to that kind of thing. And here's the front porch. I just threw a rocking chair and some lights, and I think 2 little potted plants off to the side. I kept it very simple. Here are those art pieces again. I threw them in my Sims inventory so that I could easily pull from them instead of going all the way to the other side of the lot. But instead I used these paintings. I think came with cats and dogs, and a little console table, organizational shelf area that came with, I think it came with Laundry Day. Pretty sure that came with Laundry Day. That hanging plant came with paranormal stuff, and those other 2 plants, the one on the shelf and on the wall, are, I believe, our base game. And here I'm trying to find something to put that's also from paranormal stuff, the little folded picture. Trying to put something there. The chess set is from Everyday Clutter Kit. And I was looking for more plants. I like the citrus plant from the Bloom in Rooms kit. I think that is so cute, and I actually use that a lot in most of my builds. Even I only have 3, including this one, up on my channel right now, but on my personal builds that I have also uploaded to the gallery before I started recording videos, you'll see that plant quite a bit. And here I am just throwing some more plants in because that reminded me I didn't have enough plants in this build. And fixing the lighting in here, I do like that light, but it just seemed too plain, so I threw in this bohemian light from the Desert Lux kit, and the backyard is full of Desert Luxe kit items. So the whole back patio, you'll see the bar and the grill, the blocks that I use as little end table pieces. You'll see the lounge chairs. All of it is from Desert Luxe kit. Very much enjoyed that. Here's the attic space. I thought this would be a perfect spot to clutter up with just some boxes. These storage boxes that came with Eco Lifestyle, you can actually put things in there from your Sims inventory, and organize so that they're not clogging up the family inventory or their personal inventory. You can actually take and drag things to those boxes. I thought that was a really cool idea for the attic space to have actual inventory. And then I think I just kind of stack them. I use the 0 and 9 keys and also tool mod to adjust a little bit. But that was really fun. I enjoyed doing that. And then the decoration box, so you can decorate for holidays. That is essential if you play with seasons and you enjoy that kind of gameplay. So here's the attic. It's very simple. I didn't do too much with it. I did add a sliding door, which I realize isn't centered right away, but I moved that off camera. I didn't add any windows in here either. I don't know if I did that on purpose or not, but that was what I went with here. And then I will quickly move back to the kitchen because I found this lovely little decoration that I am placing here in the kitchen. And then I think it moves to the outside, the exterior of the home, where I am adding bushes and shrubs and flowers and all kinds of landscaping items. But first I have to finish cluttering up the kitchen because that is what we have to do. So here is the outside. I'm adding some hanging plants on the front porch. Those are debug hanging plants, I believe. I like them better than the ones that came with an actual pack. I don't know why, I think they look more realistic. I don't know why, but they do. A lot of times the debug or live edit items won't look as realistic. They won't have as much detail, but those, I feel like they match perfectly. And here I am putting the window boxes. Those are from Get Famous, I believe, because they're from like the set, one of the sets on Get Famous. And I think those are also either debug or live edit, but don't quote me on that. They took me a very long time to find. You have no idea how much footage I had to cut out where I was looking for those darn window boxes. And here's these shrubs, also from live edit, I believe. In the fall and spring, they will actually shrink back and they will just be these ugly little twigs sticking out of the ground with no green on them at all. But during the summer, they are gorgeous. So I kept them on there. I don't know why. I find that really funny that they all of a sudden are just these dead, twiggy, plant-looking things, but then the rest of the time they look like these beautiful, lush bushes. I don't know. I very much enjoy that. Here's some lavender plants. I pull out a whole bunch of plants. I was trying to mimic what is in the reference picture. So we have flowering plants in the front, tall grasses, lavender, and other shrubs and low-lying grass and what else? What do you call that? It almost looks like a weed. It could very well be a weed, but it looks pretty, so we don't care. We don't discriminate with our plants around here. And I sized up these to kind of mimic, like I said, the reference photo. I think that looked really nice. And put some of the little white daisy bushes in the front, and then I just kind of go with it. I'm moving stuff around, and it's just a crazy mess. I just kind of went with what felt right. I don't have any specific style that I prefer for landscaping. I just kind of go with what I feel looks right, what blends in the best with the rest of the world I'm building in. So I pulled up the reference image so that I could show you my inspiration for that again. But I was just back and forth with this reference image and trying to make the landscaping match as well as possible. I knew it didn't have to be a perfect match. I knew that I could use creative liberties, so I didn't want to necessarily make it match completely, but I really wanted it to have that same feel of like this was all very intentional. This was not overgrown. Like when they got this house, they had a landscaper come in plan everything exactly the way they wanted it, and it was set to look this way. This was fully intentional. That is my thought process with how these Sims came about decorating and landscaping this home. So everything was very intentional. Everything was very planned out. And that is why it looks so nice. But that's also why the one bathroom being a little bit less polished and more of an old-fashioned / antique look to it, I thought made the most sense. Threw in a little bit of something else into the storyline. So I enjoyed doing that. And I think I add some lighting, some very subtle outdoor lighting, and I loved sprinkling in this little patch of daisies. You'll see me, I'll just like grab them and throw them kind of into the bushes and into the rest of the landscaping, and I thought that looked really, really cute. Just peppered in there like that. Here's where I started to give up because I was getting very tired. It was either very late at night or the kids were getting up from their nap soon and I needed to hurry up and finish. So I just grabbed a long skinny bush with a bunch of flowers on it, threw in some more ferns, threw in some more shrubs, did what I had to do, and moved on with my day. It's a struggle, I tell you. It's very hard. I remember when I was younger and before I had kids, I could just build whenever I wanted. If it was my day off from work, I would sit inside all day, build, play the whole entire day. Hours and hours and hours, and I could finish a whole one of these builds in a day and have some time to play with it. Now, that's just... no, I'm sorry. That's just not in the cards. I guess I got sick of being able to do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted, so I had kids. But what... I don't know what I was thinking. I love my kids. I'm just kidding. I love them. They are my favorite little boys. They're super cute. Although very time consuming and sometimes very confusing. So they're not as easy as Sims toddlers and babies, that is for sure. And I can't wait for this new infant life stage. I don't know how. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to make it even more difficult to have your Sims have children in this game. And I'm sure there's going to be something that's bugged, but we will see. I'm crossing my fingers that they've had enough time now to figure out what was bugged. Maybe they'll even be able to fix something with the toddlers, like the high chair issues that we always have, and maybe they'll be able to apply that to the infant life stage as well. That would be... Oh, I wish. We will see. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high here, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm not making any promises. I know nothing, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So I hope you will do that with me as well. Just keep your fingers crossed, and let's hope for the best and not criticize too harshly, because making a game like this is not easy, and it's not anyone's fault if something doesn't work, and they are always trying hard to fix it. They're not just... they don't just get to sit back and do whatever they want either. I'm sure that is a hard job. I've had friends in video game development and graphic design, and it is not an easy task. So I'm just happy that we are able to play this kind of a game, because I've always enjoyed all the Sims games, and to be able to keep this going and have even more packs come out, plus now the announcement of The Sims 5 being in development, I'm over the moon, and I'm very grateful that we're even getting more packs, and they're trying to give us exactly what we wanted. Now here's the back deck area. This took me a lot of fiddling and effort, so I did cut out a lot of footage. You might see it cutting around a bit. I do apologize, but I was actually trying to save you all some time here. I'm pulling some plants from the front with the eyedropper tool so I can landscape the back of this build as well. I do add a grill area, a sunbathing area, an outdoor dining area, a pool, and a kids play area with a swing set and monkey bars and an activity table and a little play tent. And I think that it all came together really, really nicely. I enjoy the overall aesthetic. I also had to add a bunch of debug clumps of very tall pine trees and conifers, if you will, all of the landscaping to match the reference photo of the home. So all of a sudden, after I get done with this pool area and the kids area, I think I zoom out, and you very quickly see all of these big bunches of trees. They are all from the debug and live edit menu, and some of them are from werewolves and some of them are from high school years, and I believe there's some from cats and dogs. I'm not 100%, but they are all from debug and live edit. And they were, for me, they were essential to match the reference photo, because on either side of the reference photo there's just trees, lots and lots of really large trees, and I had to mirror that to really complete the vision that I had. That cute little end table with the plants coming out the bottom, that is from Bloom & Room's kit as well. I enjoyed that. I don't get to use that very often because it is very like in your face, like holy cow, this is an end table with plants coming out of it. But sometimes it works, especially in outdoor spaces, I have found. And then I use a little trick that I actually saw Jessica Pye, YT, use in her YouTube videos, where she takes some very tall, skinny items, whether it be a lamp or a pillar, etc., and she puts it on either side of a very long table that she's decorating, or it's usually a table. Sometimes it's an island that she's decorating, and then she moves everything out of the way and alt places based on the position of the lamps or the pillars or the very tall items, so that she can get accurate placement of the items on the table without having to move the table back and forth, say, to see where everything is. So you'll see me pull out some very tall lights shortly, after I get some clutter on this table that I'm trying to figure out what I want to use first. But just so you know, that was intentional, and I know it looks strange when you see it pop up on the screen and they don't explain what they're doing, so that's what I wanted to explain to you. I know that this looks weird, but it was for a good reason, and here's my inspiration behind it. So I wanted to place a couple cute clutter items on this table, the candle and the two plants, but I didn't feel like moving the table and the plants back and forth, so I took these tall lights and I lined up the decorations, and then I moved the table back and deleted the lights. It was perfect. I love it. It was such a good idea. So I don't know if Jessica Pye YT thought of that or she saw somebody else do it, but either way, I give her full credit because that's where I saw it first, and I will pass that tip along. It is very useful. What a time saver. I can't. I was so excited, and I finally got to use that trick, and I needed to because, like I said, 2.5, almost 3 hours of footage. And now this has been almost a whole hour of me talking. I cannot believe it. Hey, we got through it. I didn't think I would. I thought I was going to be out of breath. I thought that I was going to hate everything about this voiceover because it's a whole hour long. It filled up all of the boys' nap time though, so yay. Woohoo! Here's that trick. I use it again. I use some pillars this time because now I'm thinking, well, what else can I do? The sky's the limit. I'm going to try it out. So I did some condiments, some lemons, some spices. Off to the side here, I figured this was like the decoration station when the chef made some burgers. And then I put the grill tools on top of the grill here. Now it has no slots, which is always surprising to me. I would think that it would have a slot to place the grill tools or a candle or a plate, something, and it doesn't come with those. You have to use something else to position the clutter that you want to put on there. It just doesn't slot there automatically. I found that very strange. So here's the bar that I use, and that's from the Desert Luxe kit, as well as the lounge chairs, end table, the outdoor couches, and the grill. Those are all from the Desert Luxe kit, and I used this very adorable swing set that is from the Little Campers kit. I think I only used a couple items from there, so I figured I might as well use this too, at least make it worth my while to use so many packs in one build. Don't just use one thing, at least use a couple. Make it worth the time. And I added some terrain paint to look like it had been there a while. Here's the full view of the house. There are those trees, as you can see. And you're going to see me spinning around a lot, adding a lot of terrain paint, and just taking a couple final looks at this house over the course of the next minute or two. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. Thank you so much for coming to check out this video and my build. I really appreciate it. I will link all credit down below in the description box. So my gallery ID is Miss Chris Builds. It's the same on Instagram, Miss Chris Builds. And I very much appreciate you checking this out. I know that there's only a couple people subscribed, but it is still worth it to me. It is still, it still makes me very happy to see that others are enjoying my work and downloading the houses from the gallery. I'm getting a couple more followers on Instagram and the gallery. I just really appreciate the time that you guys take to check out my work, because I do work very hard on it, and I do it because I like it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. I don't need notoriety, but it makes me feel good to see people enjoying my build. So enjoy the screenshots, you guys. Enjoy the music, and I will see you all next time I post a video. Thank you. Bye.